Welcome back to the Heat Check Podcast, episode 49. This is our April 2026 recording, and I am your host, Chris Patrick. Glad to be back at it again. Today, we're going to be checking in on the Suns, who just made it out of the play-in tournament, which means they are officially in the NBA playoffs. Woohoo. Your Arizona Cardinals have a draft coming up this week, and the Arizona Diamondbacks off to a relatively hot start, all things considered, with some help on the way. Before we get into that, let me introduce to you my co-host this afternoon, this evening, depends on when you're watching. We have Live Golf's lead finance negotiator, VSP Tallman.
That was me. Wow. Well, looks like I don't have a job for very much longer here.
Yeah,
but
seems like it kind of fell apart there, huh?
Yeah, it did. But hey, just like my tardiness today, I cannot take full responsibility for it, folks. I cannot, okay?
He's not backing up the Brinks truck anymore.
It's not me. It's not me. I tried my hardest. It just didn't work out.
It sounds like you'll have an opportunity to negotiate with some other outside financing sources other than the Saudi government or whatever.
We're done, dude.
It's all done.
Live is done.
Chalk up the L.
Yep.
I think that's okay. I was telling you guys I watched an event today that they're having in Mexico City, and I was not impressed. I didn't know. I think you'd probably mention it, but I didn't know they play like music throughout the whole thing.
You serious?
I
didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know
a
that.
grand old party.
Yeah, every tee box was like music blaring.
Yeah, it's it's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't love it. I don't know. Call me Dan Bickley. I'm like a purist, but
We're gonna call you Rory.
Rory, yeah. Hey, that guy wins, man. That guy wins. But we also have here joining us Jalen Green's acting coach, Michael Benjamin.
I am the one who told him to put that hoodie down, just so you guys know. But
Should be a speech coach or whatever.
the kid showed up, people. The kid showed up. That's what matters. Let's go, man. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing good, Mike. Doing good. Glad to be at it. Back again for our in-person podcast recording. The only in-person podcast on the Valley Sports Plug Network. Love getting together with you guys every month to do this. And when we record this, we put it up on our YouTube page at Valley Sports Plug. Also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so much more. Anywhere you can find podcasts, you can find Valley Sports Plug. Make sure you follow us at AZ_VSP on Instagram, X, and so much more. All of those links will be in the description. And we go live streaming every Tuesday around 7-ish, 7:15. So you can always tune in then or watch those on the playback. Those also go up as audio-only podcasts. But gentlemen, we got a tight schedule and short time, so let's get right into it. We're going to start off with the Phoenix Suns, who, as I said, made the playoffs in a year when they were not expected to. Honestly, I remember when we were recording back in, I think, like September.
Is that Kevin Durant?
Yeah.
That is KD, yep.
Arrest him.
Hey, he's going to be out. He was out game one against who are the Lakers.
The Los Angeles Lakers.
So, good old Kevin Durant. But yeah, I remember back in like September, October when we were talking, Mike and I were on Past the Outlet talking about the Phoenix Suns and kind of our outlook for the season. Our thoughts were kind of like, they're probably not going to make the playoffs. We don't expect them to make the playoffs, but like show us some continuity, show us all this alignment that you've been preaching to us and see how it comes together. And now here, we finished the regular season as the 7th seed. Unfortunately, came up short in that first game against, oh my God, my memory is so short.
The Trailblazers.
The Portland Trailblazers, that's right. And I know Mike was really fond of Denny Avicii. Oh. Nobody, there's no consistency in the pronunciation of that guy's name.
Avicii.
He's
back from the dead.
R.I.P. But yeah, man, so I guess that's a good place to start because, as you know, they ended up winning that game against a really poor Golden State Warriors team. But let's start with that Trailblazers plan, because I think a lot of us would have liked to have seen the Suns kind of seal the deal in that one, be a one and done in the play-in and secure their spot against the Spurs. I personally would have much rather they start the playoffs against the Spurs than the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they had a fighter's chance in that matchup. Slim chance, but more of a chance against the Thunder. But Mike, what did you think watching that one?
Well, Chris, I'll start with this. You weren't alone hoping that the Suns would have been able to handle that 7-8 matchup against the Portland Trailblazers because of what the Suns have done to Victor Wembanyama this year, specifically on the defensive end. I think in their first matchup, they held him to 13 points on a porous shooting night as well. But man, when I just think back to that matchup against the Portland Trailblazers, we talked about it on Past the Outlet. the Portland Trailblazers were coming in scorching hot. They were by far the best team that had been playing the last month, I think, since Danny Avdija.
Avdija?
Avdija? Avdija?
Avita?
One, is it Danny or is it Denny?
Denny.
Denny.
I know that for sure.
Denny.
Oh, no, it's Denny Avdia.
Avdia. That's the other one.
God,
because remember, folks,
man, we're bad.
he is a brand new superstar, so we better start getting his name correct. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a tough matchup. At the end of the day, I still thought the Suns had the favor. The numbers spoke on sports books about that too. And unfortunately, the Suns went small down the stretch, and the Trailblazers completely took advantage of that. So I know we're going to touch on the other games too. I do want to make this point. We live in this social media era where when guys show up in games that matter, and don't get me wrong, Denny had his fingerprints completely all over that game. He was the best player on the floor. I'm not trying to shy away from that. What do you have, 12 assists?
Yeah.
8 rebounds as well, almost a triple-double.
He was diving and dishing. If he couldn't finish at the rim, he was kicking it out.
He was great. He was unbelievable. But as a hoop head, I couldn't help but see that in the last 2 defensive possessions, he was subbed out and he wasn't on the floor. So until you're that guy that is on the floor in every single scenario down the stretch, don't come at me and tell me that you're a superstar. He's a star. He's a star in the making, but you got to be out there all 42 minutes down the stretch. And I don't want to take it away from the Portland Trailblazers. They made the right decision by taking him out in those scenarios, but that could be another conversation for Pass the Outlet. But hey, at least the Suns rallied. It was a really tough game. We know how they played the last 2 months of the season as well. We know Booker struggles in the fourth quarter, but it was a great bounce back this past Friday against the old men of the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, the end of a dynasty, which I feel like ended like 2-3 years ago, but people are now saying that this is like the official end. And the whole time when and the broadcast, that was kind of one of my issues, is that instead of talking about like, oh, the Suns are going to advance this team, they weren't talking about the Suns. They were talking about, oh, Steve Kerr is hugging Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, and oh, this is the end for them, and blah blah blah. Whatever. I guess give them their flowers. They had a lot of success in the league. But Mike, you bring up a great point, and I do want to actually touch on that a little bit, and maybe a little bit of a later topic, time permitting, is the difference between superstars and stars in the league. Because I feel like a lot of times they get all lumped together, but that'll be maybe just a little foreshadowing. Tallman, in that Portland game, did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the second half.
Okay, so it seems like, obviously we know a big storyline of that game for the Suns was their poor three-point shooting. Oh. And it's a common phrase in basketball, you live and you die by the three-pointer. And they definitely were dying by the three-pointer in that game. How much confidence does that give you, for the team to kind of have that type of strategy and their long-term success potentially in the playoffs? Although, again, against the Thunder, expectations are low.
Oh, they're definitely low. But no, it's not comforting whatsoever, because if we're gonna steal, well, okay, I'd be happy if we can steal even one game against the Thunder. But if we're gonna do that, we got to score some points, man. And I think it's gonna come at a three-pointer. Didn't help with Grayson Allen not being available.
Man, never thought I'd say that, right?
Yeah, for real. But it's true though. I mean, like I was hoping for that Golden State game that he'd be able to play, but I mean, he was active, but I don't think they put him in the game, right?
No.
Yeah.
He went through warm-ups, but he had just messed his hamstring up on that Friday. So, man, those soft tissue injuries are so finicky. They're always going to stress on the extended time frame side of things, I would say. So that's why you didn't see him.
Yeah.
But then it was weird. We also didn't see Mark Williams all of a sudden. But then Jordan Ott did say that was a reason that they really had to go small down the stretch against Portland, and he wasn't in there. That could have changed things. But yeah, my bad. Go for it.
No. You're good. But no, it's definitely a concern. I mean, what was it? It took them 9 minutes to make their first three-pointer in the first quarter.
Something like that. I don't think they made their first three-pointer till the second
Oh,
quarter.
was it the second quarter?
I don't remember for sure.
I don't know. It was a very,
yeah,
very long time, and that's not typical for this team when you have Gillespie, Obviously, we already talked about Allen not being in there, Jalen Green, even Royce O'Neal too. It's like you're going to need those guys to come in and make those shots. Granted, down the stretch of the game, though, they did get a couple big 3-pointers. But, man, the Portland game, dude, it was for me. It was the takeaway was the free throws, dude, and it was Devin Booker down the stretch, man, where it was just like he was in his typical I'm gonna foul bait, I'm gonna try to get the whistle, I'm gonna try to get to the line, which he did that, and I think the Suns shot more free throws than the Blazers did.
I think you're right. Yep.
I think they had 8 or 9 more attempts than the Blazers. But it's like Booker, he got the call a couple times. He made a killer fucking. That's how I said the first curse word.
Oh man, we're not
Cha-ching.
even
Oh
5 minutes.
man,
Cha-ching.
that's bad.
That's a fine.
bad.
That's
Drink to
a
that.
fine.
That's the
Cheers.
sound of money coming
Yeah.
out of Tallman's pockets. He's getting fined
Man,
today.
you never want to be the first.
Yeah, we're docking your paycheck.
Yeah, but he made in the second half. He made a killer and one where he pump faked, totally got the defender up in the air, and he just did that Chris Paul dive right into him, and he fucking drained it. I said another curse word, but it was like down the stretch. It was like he got to the line, but he couldn't make those free throws. And we ended up losing. We lost by 4, but technically we lost by 2 because the last bucket that didn't count. That was a breakaway, whatever. No one was at the game was over at that point when they scored that last 2. So, but he missed a handful, which that was the difference of the game, and that's just so killer. And I'm with you guys though. I was hoping let's assert some type of dominance. Let's try to bring back to what this team was in the first half of the season versus what they kind of did tailing off towards the end of the season. And let's beat that hot Trailblazers team, and let's just get in there at the 7 because San Antonio is looking a little better, not great. Obviously, when you're in the 7 or 8 seed conversation, you're going to play a good team no matter what in the first round. But I'd rather take the Spurs in a 7-game series than the defending champions, the Thunder. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So that was a little bit of a bummer. And then just the idea of potentially watching an Arizona sports team make bad history of being the first team to ever miss the play-in tournament by losing 2 straight playing games, like, because it was a possibility, because you saw what Golden State did against the Clippers, and you said it was the old man show where they showed up, and Curry hit that huge 3, Al Horford killed it in the end of that game, and they stunned the Clippers too, where it seemed like the Clippers, they had like a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter, and then the Golden State came back and won that game. It's unbelievable. But that was a little bit of worry too. I was like, they're gonna find out a way to lose this game, but it kind of felt like that. But from the jump though of that Golden State game, it was like I had no doubt though after we went up 12-2 or something to start the game, and I had no doubt that the Suns were gonna win that game.
Well, and that was the thing with watching that Warriors game, and I admittedly mostly watched the second half. I was kind of following it on my phone. I was out and about yesterday. But I watched a whole-ass video on it today. Is ass a curse word? Maybe I said the
that is a curse word, yeah. Well, sort of.
No,
No, because that's like, you can say that on the radio.
that's like an asterisk word. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's close, but you're fine. You can let that fly on public radio. So yeah, you're good.
So, but I was watching a video on it today, and I think it was a Warriors fan, and he was breaking down just how terrible the Warriors defense was, both in transition and from the set. Like, they weren't talking, they weren't doing it. It seemed like they weren't very interested in making a playoff run, and the Suns took advantage, as they should. And we kind of saw like what we had seen earlier in the Suns season, where it was like pretty good defense, shooting the ball well, they were moving the ball a lot better than they did in the Portland game. But Mike, did it concern you at all when they took that 18-point lead into the second quarter and then let the Warriors close the gap a little bit after that?
Not as much, and not because I was probably as confident as Tallman was over here, but because we know that basketball is a game of runs. It's so impossible to withhold double-digit leads in the NBA. It's 15-6 runs, 12-0 runs. It's always going to happen. It's just, how do you fight through those time frames and then find yourself on those other types of runs? And that's what the Suns did in that game. So was I worried? The only time I would say that I was worried was when the Warriors did go on their run in the fourth quarter with, I want to say, about 7 or 8 minutes left, and they cut it to 85-78, if I'm not mistaken, after a Curry 3.
I think so, yeah.
And then a quick timeout, you regroup, and then the Suns went on their own run. They played stellar defense. Jalen Green was getting into the passing lanes. Jordan Goodwin was just all over, 6 steals, 9 rebounds. I mean, it was a team effort. Obviously, Jalen Green is going to get the spotlight. He got the little chain with the Amazon Prime, video
with
thing
like the
that was
screen,
going
yeah.
on.
Did
that
he
kind of
really?
stuff. So that was cool. Yeah, that was something that they instituted for this season.
It was like an OLED screen.
Yeah, it was basically like the player of the game got this chain, and it was showing their highlights. Funny thing was, I think when the Hornets won their first game, they had put a highlight of what's his name, Damian Mitchell for the Heat.
Davion Mitchell.
Yeah. Crossing Melo and him like falling, and then they had to quickly like change it, and then it was like, oh, there's the Melo highlights. But so hey, first season with Amazon Prime in the helms of the play-in. There's going to be some working out things to do. But Chris, I have to pass it over to you because obviously we are taping this earlier. So this series against the Oklahoma City Thunder is officially underway. By the time this comes out, you're looking at games 1 and 2 are past. One thing that was interesting that you brought to me was how the Golden State Warriors didn't look interested in this last game against the Phoenix Suns. And there were some infamous quotes from Steve Kerr after that game, the way that they were able to battle back and win in the fourth quarter, about how he was so proud of them. This was almost like their champion moment. And that kind of transferred over into how they performed against the Suns on Friday in Phoenix. My question for you, obviously we don't know exactly what's happened yet, but this is the overall arching thing, right? And I've kind of put my eggs into the basket of the Suns making the playoffs is a season vindicated. It is a successful season. What are the chances that the Phoenix Suns find themselves in that similar boat, how the Golden State Warriors felt, where their championship was getting in? Do they show up and have a fighting chance? Because obviously we already know game 1, I think the line is 14.5, something like that.
Yeah, it opened at like 13.5, and now it's like 14.5 or 15.5, something crazy.
My overall question for you, do you think this Phoenix Suns team shows up and at least continues to fight throughout what is really going to be a tough first round matchup against the previous champs?
You know what, Mike? That's a really good question, honestly, because we have talked about it. Where I even mentioned earlier on this podcast is that the expectations were low going into the season, right? But those expectations shift, and then you kind of adjust. It's hard because I know these players, they're not dumb. They're very tuned in, and a lot of them are online and reading headlines, and they all know, aside from all that, they all know how good the Oklahoma City Thunder are. They are a team that won the championship last year. They have the reigning MVP, likely the back-to-back MVP, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Dylan Brooks has already made comments about, like, he knows there's a lot of floppers on that team, and they're gonna get the whistle, and it's gonna be really annoying watching that. The Suns have beaten Oklahoma City a couple times this season. One of those, you can throw it out because they didn't play any of their starters, so that doesn't count.
B team.
The other one, Devin Booker had to win it on a game winner, winning 3-pointer on a night where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was like 8 of 22 from the field. And you're in a 7-game series, Shai might have 1 or 2 bad games, but more than likely he's going to show up every single night because those guys are on a mission. I don't know, Mike, to answer your question, I think I have to look at this big picture, and it is vindicating because they made the playoffs in a year when we didn't think they would, and it's showing a good progression. Now, where does that leave us going forward, though? Because the makeup of this team isn't going to change much. You're kind of strapped with the buyout of Bradley Beal that's still going to be existing for the next 4 years. You have Jalen Green going into the last year of his contract, and I don't think anyone's going to want to trade for him if you're looking on moving off of him. If you are able to, you're not going to get much in return. Now there's a lot of questions about Devin Booker, but I can't imagine he's going anywhere. But overall, yes, I think they made the playoffs. Now, will they show up in this series? To some extent, I think they will. I think they'll come out the gate with a lot of energy and a lot of determination, but the first game they lose by 20 points, I think that's going to quickly deflate, and I would be surprised if this goes past 5 games, to be very honest with you. But like Tallman said, he would just be happy with 1 win, and I think I had even said that to you guys as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tallman, give us your predictions. What's the distance this series
Fellas,
goes?
I'm really sorry. You
don't gotta apologize.
We are staring at a series sweep at the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's gonna happen. I mean, but you got to remember though, you guys already said all the things. I'm with you on the season being a success. I mean, coming in Vegas saying we're gonna win 33 games or some shit like that. I mean, this team exceeded everybody's expectations. And what we got to see, though, was the culture. I think that's the biggest takeaway is the culture. And then learning that Jordan Ott is actually the real deal, right? He's going to be a hell of a coach. He is a hell of a coach for this team right now, but he's only going to get better. And even though I say we're going to get swept in this series, there's some young core players on this team that are going to get some serious experience playing the defending champions, right? Even if we lose 4 games in a row, that's fine. It doesn't have the same feeling of when the Suns got swept with not last year, but the year prior, we got swept by the Timberwolves.
Yep.
In 4 with Kevin Durant and Booker. Because that was different. That was a different team. That was a different set of expectations. This one is just, we got in. We got into the dance. No one expects us to make any noise. But there's going to be a lot of these young guys that have never been in this situation. And I'm looking at Mark Williams, even though I always think he's like 30 years old for some reason. It's probably just because he's always fucking hurt.
There's guys like that. There's guys like that.
I mean, he don't look 22 or 23.
No, he really does
is
not.
Too,
he
so.
really does not. But Gillespie too, man. And who's the other? Even Jalen Green. Jalen Green's only 23, right? 23, I'm pretty sure.
It's going to be his second postseason appearance overall.
Yeah, and
second series ever.
he's off to a much better start with the Suns than he did with the Rockets. If I'm not mistaken, he had a really bad postseason showing with the Rockets.
Oh,
he was not playing his best basketball. Granted, I mean, you can argue, does the play-in count as playoff basketball? It doesn't, right? I don't think it does. It doesn't count.
Doesn't count for playoff stats.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No.
So it's not a playoff game.
I would still consider it postseason basketball.
Because it is after the regular. Yeah.
By
And
definition,
he's off to an incredible start. I
Yep.
mean, there's no doubt about that. So it's a win. It's a win. It's a win. I don't think there's any way you can shape this season, even if we get swept in 4, as a negative. It's a positive for everybody, for the coach, for the young players, just for the fan base, I think, because Booker said it the best. He said, playoff basketball is back in the Valley. And that sentence is beautiful no matter what the situation is. So I'll leave it at that.
Let me do my thoughts real quick.
Absolutely,
Chris, here.
yeah.
And it's a special time. Anytime playoff basketball is in the Valley. And we went through the drought of 10 years and to finally having made the playoffs for the last 5 seasons. But doesn't this just seem it's more special? There's something different about it. And please people, listen to me. I'm not saying the Phoenix Suns are going on a crazy 2021 run. They don't have the firepower. The Western Conference is so much more loaded, and a lot of the main pieces that you're going to have to go up against are healthy this time around. Unless fluke things happen, they can. The Suns have a lot of growing pains to go through, and they still have a lot of young pieces that don't have that playoff experience. But I'm really in the camp where I think I posted on my social medias. I couldn't be prouder. Like, I have not been this proud of this Phoenix Suns organization and team since 2021 when they went to the finals. And that's including a year where they set the franchise record in wins.
Yeah.
Next season. Like, I have not felt this proud of what they've been able to accomplish this year. And if you want to call me a loser for it, just to make the playoffs and get swept, that's fine. Whatever. It ain't going to change the way that I feel about that, because we know the trials and tribulations that this Phoenix Suns franchise, our star player, our staff members, everybody who's been a part of this since the Kevin Durant era came and went, and the super low expectations to do what this team did this year was just absolutely astounding, man. And it's to the point where, guys, I've never done this. I've always been more so worried about going to high leveraged playoff games specifically for the Suns because I don't know if my heart can take it. Like, that game 7 game against the Mavericks, I had a feeling it was not going to go well. We know what happened, right?
That was bad. If
the Suns are down 3-0 going into game 4 on, I think, Tuesday, April 27th, if I'm not mistaken, I will be in that building.
Really?
You're going to go?
I will be in that building.
Okay.
I will be in that building.
Have you looked at tickets yet?
Yeah.
How much?
I mean, they're okay. I also have season tickets, Tallman. I have my way.
Oh,
yeah,
you get discounts.
He's got the connections.
Right?
So,
wait, that's Fire TV. You get discounts?
Yeah.
Okay.
But am I getting my feeling across about how proud I am of what they've done this year?
I think so. And I think Suns fans need to keep that perspective because obviously once you make it into the playoffs, you want your team to make a deep run and be competitive. But I go back to like temper your expectations. Like, yes, the goalposts have moved a little bit, but you still gotta know what this Suns team is. But I'll also say, like, you bring up a good point, Mike. Like, I'm gonna say this and it's gonna maybe come across a little, I don't know, rude or disrespectful in ways, but the Kevin Durant Suns teams just felt a little soulless. They didn't have like much of an identity. There was not really much to get behind versus you talk about the 2021 Suns and like the Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, like those Suns teams, like it's the Torey Lovello thing. A connected team is a dangerous team. Those teams were connected and they were making
fucking dangerous.
They were dangerous and they were fun to watch and you could tell they were having a good time out there. During the Kevin Durant era, I felt like everyone was walking on eggshells and nobody was having fun out there. And now here we are with this team with Dylan Brooks. You say what you will about his technicals and I will be his first critic on that, but he lights a fire and he's behind his guys and these guys all have each other's back. And even through Jalen Green's questionable shot selection and the rough start he had once he shook off the injuries, like they all stood together and have really made something special, honestly. And you can even talk about, like you mentioned Colin Gillespie, you can talk about Jordan Goodwin. That dude had a breakout season. Yeah. He's got the mask. He's like a gritty dude. I like that guy.
I do have to say we owe him an apology.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Because I was watching back one of our other heat checks last year after we had just signed him, and we completely threw it off to the side. And he's like, not going to be a difference maker. Mm-hmm. Talk about a swing and a miss. He was one of the ultimate difference makers for the Suns ball club this year.
Nobody bats 1,000, Mike. Nobody bats 1,000.
No, but we might be Alek Thomas right now.
But to round out this Suns,
that was good. That was good.
To round out this Suns conversation, and we'll try, I guess, maybe to keep this as brief as possible. Mike, I mentioned you were talking about the difference between stars and superstars, and I think Suns fans are starting to have a real conversation about Devin Booker. And we all in the Valley consider him a superstar, but the reality is he's just a star in this league. And now after that first play-in game, people were asking the question, should you sell high on Devin Booker? Should you trade him with his massive contract and see what you can get back for a rebuild in the future? Or do you let him stay because of what he means to the Valley? He wants to be here and is very marketable. Devin Booker still puts asses in seats. So it's an interesting, I would hate to be Brian Gregory and having to make those decisions, or Matt Ishbia. I don't know where I land on this, to be honest with you. I want to see Devin Booker be here, but I also want to see us have long-term success. And you can't build your whole team around a star to win a championship. You need a superstar to win a championship in the modern NBA.
We're going to have some interesting conversations about that. So like you said, I'll keep it short and sweet. Devin Booker has built all of his notoriety here in the Valley. He is a son of the Valley at this point. He's getting close to levels of Steph Curry with the ability for him to make his own decisions on what he wants to do and when his time frame is for him to leave. I think it's going to end up being a situation where they're going to try and retool, reload, make some more runs over the next couple of seasons. And if it doesn't work out, then maybe he will look in the mirror and say, hey, where do I need to go possibly to get this thing done? Because he's been given his chances, guys. I mean, he has brought in the talent like he always wanted to, and it didn't work out. But he has built, you give him the keys to the kingdom. I know what people are saying. You saw within the play-in games, performed kind of poorly to his level, obviously. Tallman talked about the 5 missed free throws, just unacceptable from your guys when you need it in critical situations. Yeah. But we are so far removed from calling for the head or for a trade kind of thing.
It's too late.
No, there's no shot. I mean, how many times have we talked about Mount Rushmore and that kind of stuff? And Devin Booker is already considered the greatest son of all time. If you're considered the greatest son of all time, you get to leave on your terms. So that's short and sweet as best as I can. But there's going to be interesting conversations, I think. And some of them I've already started. You guys saw Ja Morant in the building last night?
Really?
Wait, was he there?
Just saying.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no, you don't want that headache.
It's very interesting.
Let's not get into it right now.
Yeah, we're not going to get into it.
He's out. Oh, sorry.
Like you said, Mike, we'll have plenty of time
out.
to have those conversations, and maybe we'll tailor that to Tallman's schedule so he can get in on it as well. But you know what, gentlemen?
You guys don't have to wait for me.
You're right. That's a Pass the Outlet. We're still waiting for you to come on
on
Pass the Outlet. You've never been on
No,
Pass the
you don't
Outlet.
want me on Pass the Outlet.
We'll tailor that episode directly to you.
Just talk about Ja Morant.
Yeah, we'll have you run it. Yeah,
for 60 minutes.
All right, fellas. We need to talk about your Arizona Cardinals. Their draft is coming up probably today when this is coming out. So hopefully you're doing a little draft prep, enjoying the draft, getting ready for the draft. So we'll let Tallman share his thoughts because on Tuesday we did our live stream on the Valley Sports Plug YouTube page, and we broke down the whole draft, talk about the Cardinals and the league as a whole, first couple rounds at least. But before we get into all that, there was some Cardinals news that broke this last week, and apparently, guys, I'm sure you saw this. Jacoby Brissett wasn't at the voluntary training camp or whatever, and he is now demanding to be paid like a quarterback one. And it kind of comes, I don't know if it was on the heels of or in correspondence with the Cardinals organization and their new head coach basically saying they're not going to say who the day one starter is going to be. They're not going to commit to a day one starter, which, I mean, when your choices right now are Jacoby Brissett or Gardner Minshew, I don't know why you don't just commit to Jacoby Brissett, because even if they do draft Ty Simpson today or tomorrow, when this is out and you're watching this, you're not going to start Ty Simpson.
I don't know.
Or Spencer Rattler, or, I mean...
I don't know, dude.
Tallman, I guess I'll throw it to you first. What are your thoughts on this whole Jacoby Brissett conundrum that we're in now?
Wait, you said his name wrong.
Jacoby Brissett?
It's Brisket.
Brisket. Yeah, that's right. Right.
I'm feeling hungry now. So what is
he's hungry for a payday.
Well, yeah, apparently.
The 33-year-old journeyman backup is looking to be paid like a QB1.
Yeah. So what does he make right now? $9.5 million?
He's going to make $9.5 this year.
Million. Yeah. So, and then you bring in Gardner Minshew. We threw $5 million at him, and I mean, I'm not surprised that they're not naming a number. Why would you? Because there's no clear-cut answer. You don't want to show your hand going into the draft. Like you could do anything, right? Like why would you? Also, there's so much off-season shit to go through. Why would you go out and say, yeah, Jacoby's the guy? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Of course he's not going to do that. But then it's just laughable. I mean, he started 12 games last season, right? Won one of them. So he went 1-11 as a starter for the Arizona Cardinals.
But Tallman, look at the stats, though. Look at the stats.
You could, all right, sure. But I'm going to be one of those critics that says half of those stats were padding. It was all padding. It was all in garbage time, and a lot of it was. I mean, except for a couple. I mean, we were in attendance for one of the best showings I think we've ever seen from a backup quarterback who was forced into a starting role when he set the record for 49 completions. Right, that was when God damn it! He's so insignificant to me. I forget his name.
You jerk! You absolute buffoon, Mr. Michael Wilson. You will call him from now on.
How can you forget Michael Wilson?
That was when he had 15 catches, I believe, for 180 yards or some crazy stuff like that. No, I just think it's funny. It's not surprising because if you're looking at it from a mile away, everything screams that Jacoby's going to be the week 1 starter. So from a business standpoint, I mean, any sports agent would be like, dude, we have to do this right now. Because it's screaming you're the best option.
It's opportunistic for sure.
Because I mean, okay, I said he won 1 game. It's true. I mean, it only doesn't matter what you put up. It's about how many games you win. Did he look pretty good in a lot of those games? Did he have opportunities in the fourth quarter to win a handful of those games? Absolutely, which is why we had so many one possession losses last season. But it's like you can't. As a guy, I hope the Cardinals don't bite. I really don't. Don't bite on it. He wants a long-term deal too. He wants added years. You can't give this guy more years. You can't pay him starter money. What did Malik Willis get in Miami? Did he get like $30 million?
Yeah.
You can't pay Jacoby Brissett $30 million and lock him in for another 2 years.
Not even for 2 years.
Outrageous.
Because then you are committing to having to start him for that period of time, and it's like you handcuff yourself and like
unbelievable.
It is ridiculous. But Mike, I got to ask you if you agree with Tallman's sentiment that the Cardinals don't want to show their hand, because I kind of laid it out there. Even if you draft a quarterback in this draft, are you telling me that guy's going to come into training camp and blow the doors off of the building and become the starter week 1?
I mean, Ty Simpson's not going to do it. Drew Aller's not going to do it. Carson Beck's not going to do it. I wouldn't start any quarterback that they draft. The Arizona Cardinals have failed once again. Is anybody surprised? Oh, my Lord. You know what they shouldn't have ever done? They should have never let it leak that their plan was to go with Jacoby Brissett as the starter when they signed Gardner Minshew. They should have never told that to anybody and let that get out and resurface. They should have stuck to their guns, because Lord knows the Arizona Cardinals have lied to us and lied to everybody for a good part of since this regime has taken over. Why not just continue to lie? Because you also show your hand and lose leverage in the NFL draft, because now everybody thinks that you're going to draft Ty Simpson, which today, folks, probably there's going to be a trade and he's going to be drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. If not, if Ty drops, he's going to get drafted by them in the second round. The Arizona Cardinals just have no idea what they're doing. Consistently. They should have doubled down and said, Jacoby's our guy, and then went into the NFL draft if their plan was really to go after a quarterback. Because then it's throwing guys off. They might get short-sighted and throw you an extra pick or a higher pick now. Now everybody knows that you're hunting for another quarterback, because you literally just said, we don't have a quarterback. Are you kidding me? What are we doing? Well, this is ridiculous.
So just to jump in. So, I mean, Chris, you said it a couple of times. You don't think if they drafted Ty Simpson, you don't think he's going to jump in. You got to think with Ty Simpson, he sat, what was it, 3 seasons at Alabama?
Yeah, he only played one season of college football.
He only played 15 games. So then if he comes into the NFL and he sits the entire season, he's sitting 4 of 5 years just watching.
Yeah.
The kid needs reps if he's going to be anything. So, and I'm not sitting here going to step on my cool new mic stand stool and say he needs to start week 1. I'm not saying that, but it's like he's got to come in week 6. He's got to, if the shit is just going and hitting the fan and exploding, he's got to be in there right away. And he needs every single rep he can possibly get, because the kid, that's the one knock against him. Well, aside from maybe his physical stature and him not being the most athletic.
Listen, keep listening.
And his small hands.
Yeah, but it's the experience is the biggest thing that jumps off the page at you. Is the guy's only played 15 games in college. Like that's not it. I mean, typically you see, what is it, the 25 to 30 range. Like the big one was Bo Nix. No one believed in Bo Nix. The guy played like the most college football games of any starter. He played like 40 games or something crazy like that.
Right.
And he came in and he had immediate success. Granted, he had he's got a great coach. Mm-hmm. And he's in a good franchise with the Broncos. But like that right there is a good example of a dude that had the most experience you can get in college, and he had immediate success in the NFL. Where Ty Simpson, if you sit him, it's not going to work. He's going to be too far behind the 8 ball. And it's going to be just a huge mountain for him to climb.
I get that, but it's not unheard of for guys to get drafted. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Brett Favre for a couple years and then came up and found success. Like, you can grow into that position.
He played a lot at Cal, though.
That's true.
He had a lot of experience playing the game.
Okay,
sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, you're good. So let's tie in these two topics then, because they do kind of go hand in hand when talking about the draft and what the Cardinals are going to do, and this whole Jacoby Brissett situation. I think that'll sort itself out. The Cardinals should absolutely not pay him $30 million. They shouldn't even pay him $20 million, if I'm being honest with you. But when we're talking about, I don't understand why you would draft Ty Simpson unless you genuinely believe he is an NFL quality quarterback. And there has been a massive propaganda push for Ty Simpson. There's a lot of pundits out there saying, oh, he could be better than Fernando Mendoza. He should be the number one quarterback in this draft. But it's no secret that the 2027 quarterback class is going to be leaps and bounds, probably the best, most robust quarterback class we've seen in the last 10 years. So I think that was obviously they're fumbling the whole rollout of this, but I think that should be the plan, is understand you're not going to be a playoff team. The Cardinals have no Super Bowl aspirations for the 26-27 season. So be bad again this year, get a high draft pick for 2027, and then get your quarterback of the future then. Now, the draft, though, it's a crapshoot. Even you can have the highest quality prospect to ever be seen in college football, and it just doesn't work out. Look at Johnny Manziel. Look at Kyler Murray. There's no guarantee that those things are going to work out, but I don't understand it. Mike, try and help me out here.
I think the biggest thing here, Chris, is that this Monti Ossenfort is fighting for his life.
This is his last chance.
This is what it is. So, and I'm 100% with you. I mean, what this team did last year does not give you any hope that they'll just be able to reload with a couple of key pieces and then be able to scratch out a wild card. Like this team has so many flaws once again. In year 4 of a rebuild, they're stuck in a predicament. But you can't go into next season with Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew as your only options at quarterback and then sell it to the fan base and say, hey, stick with us as we wait it out for 2027. The same way that Jonathan Gannon was the scapegoat will be what will happen to Monti Ossenfort next year if he doesn't at least try. And we know Monty's a wizard with his words, so he's been in the ear of Mike LaFleur talking about, hey, Ty, he fits into your system real nice. You think that, we can, we'll have Jacoby start 4-5, and then we'll do a same thing. He'll take a little sack, and then it'll be a phantom hip contusion that puts him on the IR until next year when we just cut him and Ty gets to play 12 games and suck for 8 of them, but then shows promise, and then I'll be able to come and draft and we'll get it all right the next time. This is what it is. This is what's happening. He is at his last resorts. And the problem with that is it's all about leverage, right? The leverage play with Kyler Murray. You had months to plan out what your plan was, and you lost complete leverage of the entire situations to where now you have to take on the majority of that cap hit, right? You have lost leverage with Jacoby Brissett, thinking that he is still in favor of your organization to be a starter to potentially get a longer-term contract next year if he was named the starter. You've lost leverage in the NFL draft, and people are going to be saying, here's pennies on the dollar if you want to move up in order to get this guy, because we know what your plans are. That's where we're at.
Yeah. No, 100%. The Cardinals are at the poker table showing all their cards face up right now. And I don't honestly think there is, and you want to believe that these billion-dollar sports, organizations, whatever you want to call it, they're like masterminds. They have all the smartest people in the room and they have a grand plan, but it's hard to imagine that the Cardinals have any sort of grand plan right now. It's they are day to day trying to figure this shit out. But Tallman, we said we were going to give you the floor here to share your thoughts on the draft that's going to happen today, as this is coming out on Thursday, and the draft is happening later tonight. So what do you think the Cardinals should do?
Keep going.
Do you think they should trade up and get maybe a second pick in the first round? And also, when you look at that number 3 pick that they have, Who do you think they should go with? It sounds like I wish I wrote his name down. The Notre Dame running back,
Jeremiah Love.
The offensive players are sexy. I want an offensive player, but there are obviously needs elsewhere. So it's like that age-old debate of best available versus best fit. I don't know. Where are you landing on this Cardinals draft? Tallman, you were on the clock.
Oh, I'm on the clock. All right. I'm riding hard on you pick the best available player. You don't draft for fit, dude. No, you don't. I want that David Bailey kid. And you know what's really been growing on me is you mentioned his name, the Notre Dame running back, the Jeremiah Love shit. Because the whole consensus right now is if Love falls to 4, the Titans are going to pick him. He's not going past 4. Titans are taking him.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where it gets interesting is there's going to be a handful of teams that look at him because there's so many different draft analysts that are saying he is the best player, all-around football player in this class. So, and I know before this is where it's growing on me. It's changing a little bit. Where before, because I really liked the Tyler Algier signing. I thought that was great. I liked the restructure with Connor to bring him back. You still got the broke guy that didn't play last year, Trey Benson, yeah. He's a good
broke guy
player.
Like broke in or like financially
give up. Give up.
The injury guy. But damn. So that right there, obviously the Algier and the restructure of Connor, because I thought Algier coming in, that means Connor was sayonara, see you later. So that room is already full, and there's a lot of talent in that room too. So everyone connecting Jeremiah Love to the Cardinals, I was like, get bent, dude. What the fuck are you smoking? Like, there's no way. They just paid Tyler Algier $22 million. Why would you burn a number 3 pick on Jeremiah Love? But the kid is insane, dude.
They're saying he's like he's generational running back.
Yeah,
talent.
yeah. They're comparing him to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Where if you went to me and said, hey, however many years ago, I don't know what draft he was in, and if you said, hey, the Cardinals have a chance to draft Jahmyr Gibbs, do you want to do it? I'd be like, hell yeah, do it.
I've heard Adrian Peterson comparisons.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, but like I don't know. Grab the jersey.
Get the switch.
That is too much. That's too much. But if you could take that type of player, if he's legitimately gonna be like a Jahmyr Gibbs, and if you can sprinkle him into this offense, where that would be intriguing, right? That would be intriguing. There you go. There's the AP.
It's signed too.
All right, let me get my wooden stick.
Okay.
Oh no.
Don't hit my nuts.
It's signed by a 12-year-old Chinese girl. Oh. Anyway, that's
okay. So I feel like I hear some contradiction in your thought process here because you're saying
I was still going to go.
Okay, no, I want you to still go, but you're saying best available, but you're also saying we don't need a running back. And if Jeremiah Love is the best available when we're on the clock at 3, do you think we should take him, or do you think we should?
No, I don't think they are. I really don't think they're going to take him, mainly because of the Algier and just how. I mean, the money that's allocated to that room already, granted, it's not a lot, but you don't pay running backs a lot, right? We don't have somebody in that room that should warrant, the $15, $20 million a year, but it's like they already have a lot invested in that room, and it'd be hard for me to be okay with them taking a 3rd overall pick and drafting a running back. And that's why I'm more leaning towards this is what I want them to do, is take the best available player, which is it's going to be one of those defensive ends. It really is. Where draft somebody that's going to be an immediate impact on this organization, somebody that's going to potentially swing football games for you and win you more games. I don't want this whole – I'm sick of the trading back. It screams, look at us. We can draft Will Anderson Jr., who's one of the best defensive players in the league right now.
Is the highest paid
Yeah.
non-quarterback in the league.
Did you see that?
I mean, the guy he's a game wrecker. I don't want this to, we had that. This is literally going to be, it could potentially be one of the same things where we're staring at Will Anderson. We trade back. We go and we get offensive linemen. We get Paris Johnson Jr., who's been a solid addition, but it's not the type of dude that there's 5 dudes on that offensive line, and if half of them suck, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So what, like if you're going to get a defensive guy, which we can get with the David Bailey guy, the Arvell Reese, I mean, these guys could be guys that are immediate impacts on this team.
Like Walter Nolan.
I mean,
He wants
he looked
T-Rex
good.
arms, Chris. I can't believe it.
He looked good. No, I thought that was Ruben Bain Jr.
Oh, that's
He's the guy with the
that's
short
not
arms.
Arvell.
Yeah, not Arvell.
Wait, you're telling me Ruben Bain has small arms and Desmond Bain also has small arms?
They're cousins.
There's something in the Bain bloodline
There's something
that
about
leads to.
But no, so this is what I'm saying. Like, be aggressive, Michael. Be aggressive. Stop. Build. We have enough draft picks. We don't need another draft where we have 14,000 picks and none of them hit. We need to come in, we have a top 5 pick yet again. Pick somebody who is going to be a good football player.
Don't overthink it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't need to trade back and get draft capital. Like, that doesn't have to be the thing. So pick the best available player. And if they think Jeremiah Love is the best available player, sure, do it. But I would hope that they're looking at one of these defensive guys, team him up with Sweaty Boy. And, I mean, dude, just kill him. I mean, that would be incredible. If you can add one of those young defensive ends with Josh Sweat, incredible. On to the Ty Simpson shit. My goodness, dude. All right. So 2027, the NFL draft quarterback class is supposed to be great.
Yep.
They said the same shit about this year.
Did
and then
they?
look at all those guys that
Well, a
fell
lot of those
off.
guys stayed in
Everybody
college.
went
Though.
back
Everyone
to college.
stayed in college.
Because was it Dante Moore with Oregon?
Yeah, because
right?
nobody wants to play for the
he
Jets.
went back because he's got fucking mental health issues, which is fine. That's a real thing. I'm not discounting him whatsoever.
Archie,
I feel it.
Yeah.
Trinidad Chambliss. Like,
Chambliss.
it's a bunch of guys that were
Yeah, but-
supposed to be in this draft and went back to school.
Well, Archie was never he had a rough start to the season. He should not have come out.
But if you go to like a year ago, a year and a half ago.
The Neusmeyer guy with LSU was
Yeah.
supposed to be hot shit.
Yeah.
Brent Nussmeier.
What did I say? Neusmeyer?
Yeah, close
Yeah,
enough.
he was supposed to be
Avicha,
really good.
Vitza,
Yeah.
Pizza.
Denny, a pizza.
Yeah.
Denia Beats.
But it's like you're not guaranteed to that for that same, like a year from now. There's a lot that needs to happen still, and then even then, it's like you don't know. Like this team might fuck around and win a couple games it's not supposed to win.
Well,
and
that's
then you might not
1,000% what would happen.
You might not be in the position to even get one of those guys. You might have to sell the farm and the kitchen sink to just get an Archie. Or Archie
Bradley?
How did you know I was going to say that?
Pooped his pants, folks.
An Arch Manning. And then you run the risk of, I mean, we talked about it in previous streams and whatever about the Mannings don't play or wherever they don't want to play. Like, you run the risk of somebody not wanting to come to this dysfunctional organization.
Yeah.
So, but the Ty Simpson thing is, the dude's only 6 feet tall. What? This is like, I'm going to say it. This is white Kyler Murray. I'm allowed to say that. That's the thing. I'm allowed to say that. That's okay. That's okay. It's the same shit, but he's not as accomplished. And he has no experience. I mean, you saw what he did in that playoff game. He looked atrocious. It was the worst game he's ever played in his college career. Granted, his career was very short, and then they came out that he was hurt, he was injured, whatever. But it's like, I don't care. Like, if you reach for this guy, if you trade into the first round to try to get him, that's a mistake. If he falls to you
In the second?
Sure. That's all right. Don't give up assets to go and get this guy when you might be doing a Josh Rosen, Kyler Murray thing the next year, where the next year might come and you go, you know what? This Ty Simpson guy, he just ain't it. We're going to do something else because we have the first pick in the draft because we were that bad.
Oh, good Lord.
You know what I mean? And and then it's comforting because we've seen this team do that. And I have no doubt that they'll do that again. But that's why you can't reach for this dude. And you got to let him come to you. And if he's there we pick at 34, right, in the second round.
Yep.
If he's there, take him. Sure, do it. Because that's how you're going to sell tickets. That's how you're going to get some type of hope around this football team. Because right now, we are searching for hope. And if you're Michael Bidwell, if you're Ossenfort, you're trying to find what kind of smoke screen can I put up in front of these fans and convince them, give us your money, come support us. Yeah. That would be how you would do it. That's exactly what you said, Mike. Because rolling with Jacoby and Gardner Minshew, that's not going to sell. That's not a good sell. It's not going to happen.
There's no hope.
Yeah, but you can't harm yourself for the future and give up. So the one thing is, there's no way in hell this team gives up a 2027 first round pick. You cannot do that. You cannot do that.
No.
Doesn't matter what it is.
No.
No.
Yeah, no.
No. And then there's all these teams that are not going to want to do that as well. So that's where it comes in, where how do you trade back from number 3? Is it even worth your time from trading back from number 3? Like, that's why pick the best available player. Don't reach for Ty Simpson, who's 6 foot and has only played 15 football games. And honestly, I'm looking at 2027. And that's probably where this franchise quarterback is going to come for this team. It's not right now. It's not Jacoby, regardless of how much we pay him, whether it's $1 or $30 million. It's not him. It's not Ty Simpson. It's going to come 2027.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Mike, just to round this out, I need to ask you this question. I've had it written down here. What do you say to the Cardinals fans, like me, who think that no matter what the Cardinals do, it's going to be the wrong decision?
It's
a great way to put
it. I have no words, Chris, because it's all been the wrong decision since this regime took over. I mean, it's been the wrong decision since 2015.
Yeah. Yep.
It's hard. I mean, what goodwill has Monti Ossenfort bought himself, especially in the draft, that has shown that if he's going to maneuver around again, he's going to make the right picks? That's why I'm almost leaning towards what Tallman is agreeing with. Just pick the best player at this point, man. Stop messing around. Stop fucking around. Just get it done.
There you go.
Like, stick and pick. Then maybe, if Ty falls, whatever. That's fine. But, I mean, hell, if the Cardinals came into next year with Jeremiah Love and Ty Simpson on this team, you talk about juice in the building. And that's what this fan base needs, man. That's what this fan base needs right now. So, but are they going to do that? Nope. They're going to dick around. They're going to mess around, trade, try and do something. They're going to pick Spencer Fanu or Maui Noah.
They better not.
They will.
What about all that shit?
I mean, it's a need. They need it. Their offensive line sucks,
do.
so they need it. But if they stick and pick one of those guys at 3,
that's too high.
Monti Ossenfort needs to be fired at 9 p.m. Central Time or whatever.
What about all this stuff about Ty Simpson going 3rd overall to the Cardinals?
Not going to happen.
I mean, the Cardinals are stupid, but I don't think they're that stupid.
I just can't believe someone would publish that.
Right?
And be like, that's
what I was talking about with the propaganda. The Ty Simpson propaganda
is so dumb.
We haven't seen this levels of propaganda since the Soviet Union. It's honestly
that, or drug use is running rampant, Chris.
Yeah, the reefer madness or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think there's any world that the Cardinals take Ty Simpson at 3. And if they do, I might become a 49ers fan. I'm totally kidding.
You couldn't have picked a better team.
I know. Well, Brock Purdy.
Well, they're comparing Ty Simpson to Brock Purdy.
Well, great. The other comp I heard for Ty Simpson was Kenny Pickett. So hopefully that instills a lot of confidence for you guys. Yeah, guys, I don't know. I genuinely think that the Cardinals are going to fuck this draft up, and it's going to be a shit show. But I do agree with you as well, Mike, that if you get Jeremiah Love at 3, and then you get Ty Simpson at the end of the first or the beginning of the second, fans can get behind young talent, and then the losses are more palatable because you're selling the future. Versus if you roll out Jacoby Brissett and you just get an offensive lineman and whatever, this and that, the next thing is like you're saying like we expect to be more competitive now, and I have so many doubts, and I have a hard time believing that they will be competitive this year. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, and then week after next, we'll hop on and talk about the fallout from the draft. And
the fallout.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? I can't wait.
Yeah.
But fellas, one last topic on the docket. Your Arizona Diamondbacks. They're off to a pretty good start, all things considered. We've had some surprising showings. Eduardo Rodriguez seems to have turned it around in a lot of ways, continuing that momentum from the World Baseball Classic. Mike Soroka has cemented his spot in the starting rotation. Brandon Pfaadt to the bullpen to be the long reliever. But there are still a lot of questions. We also talk about Lourdes Gurriel Jr. being back in the lineup on Saturday, and after 8-month rehab on an injury that usually takes 9 to 12 months to rehab. Super impressive. And then more help is on the way, probably coming in May and June. But that's still a ways down the road. But where I say there are still questions is like the guys we rely on and kind of invested in, Geraldo Perdomo, and I don't mean financial investments, but just as far as like giving them a spot on the roster and giving them playing time. We ship out Jake McCarthy, basically signaling that Alek Thomas is the guy, and he is absolute dog shit to start this season. Now I think we saw him get an RBI and a single on Saturday, and maybe he can turn it around. You know, that's kind of baseball, right? Guys will get hot, get cold, and it's hard to always have these guys be consistent. I think Jerry might be starting to turn around. Ketel's starting to turn it around. But Tallman, I'll kick it to you first. What do you make of the start to the season?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. So we're 12-8 right now at time of recording. Of course, a lot of baseball is going to happen between now and when you guys see this. But I think just the resilience of how the season started. You go to LA, you play the big bad Dodgers, you get swept, and then you turn around and then you sweep the Tigers. I mean, if you pull out those first 3 games, I mean, shit, they're 12-5. If you don't count, well, obviously they count, but if you don't look at those first 3 games against the Dodgers, I mean, this team's off to a great start. And it's been a tough schedule, dude. You had a hell of a road trip. You had to go play the Mets in Citi Field, where the Dbacks do not win baseball games.
And it was cold
at Citi Field. Yeah, it was cold. It was windy. It was terrible conditions. They had to
change game times. Yeah,
had to move up a couple of those games. Then you had to go to play the Phillies in Philadelphia, and then you had to go play the Orioles in Baltimore. It was, I mean, those are not bad teams. And then you're coming back to start this road stand, or excuse me, this home stand, and you're playing the NL. The AL champs and the Toronto Blue Jays, who they're off to a shaky start. Obviously, we stole the first game from them on Friday against the Blue Jays, but it's been, you wouldn't have guessed the guys that have been the major contributors for this team. And it's almost like the injuries at first base have been a blessing in disguise for this team, right? So they're running out Carlos Santana, who just could not hit a baseball to save his life. He's the veteran guy. He's older. He's not a spring chicken, Michael.
Past his prime.
Yeah, but so that brings in the Jose Fernandez, the Ildemardo Vargas getting regular playing time.
Ildy.
And Vargy. And they've been crucial to this team. They really have.
Yeah.
Vargas has been incredible. I mean, he's the hottest guy on this baseball team right now. Fernandez with we already talked about his debut, being one of 7 players since 1900 to ever hit 2 home runs in his first MLB game. And he's just, it's not like he just did that and it was a fluke. The dude looks composed, man, where doesn't look rattled. He looks solid. He looks like a 6-year vet, and every ball he hits is hard. It's hard hit rate. He looks like somebody he's going to be a dude on this team. He's part of this young core now. And he came out of left field like Squirrel Master, where you wouldn't expect this to be part of what we're talking about right now. So he's been incredible. Vargas has been incredible. Carroll's really turning it on after all if you have the hamate bone stuff, you lose a lot of power. I don't think we're seeing that from Corbin. I mean, you saw the way he rehabbed. The kid is an absolute monster, and I think he's avoided any of that concern about him losing power or his hard hit balls. He's been a stud. I mean, it's been a surprise. And then even Arenado is coming around recently. Nolan, where he had a rough start to his season. He had a two home run game. He had a home run last night. I mean, he's starting to hit the ball good as well. And then obviously he's been pretty much a highlight reel defensively at third base. So I've been really impressed with him as well. But you can't shy away from it. It's the pitching, dude. It's the starting pitching. It's even some surprise from the bullpen. It's some surprise from our our closer, Paul Sewald.
Paul Sewald.
You wouldn't have guessed it. We talked so much smack about Paul Sewald coming back.
Wasn't he leading the majors in saves? Was he still leading it?
Oh, was he? Wow.
He's on my fantasy team, dude. He's doing really good. Yeah.
It's crazy having.
But he's been great.
Having Paul Sewald as your fantasy closer in the Big 2-6.
He's been great, man. It's. I mean, aside from a handful. I mean, that game against the Braves where we lost like 17-4 or something.
Yeah.
That was the bullpen that gave up a chunk of those. So that's why our bullpen ERA is really inflated, is because of that game and a couple other outings. The Taylor Rashi one recently. But for the most part, some of these guys that we were counting on, the Ginkel, the Thompson, the Sewald, even the Loizaga guy, I mean, they've had good showings, really good showings. So it's been the pitching, starting pitching, the Michael Soroka. We heard the news of Fott going to the bullpen, Merrill Kelly coming back, which he seemed like at his first start was a little shaky, but he dialed it in, and I think he's going to be just fine. But the Soroka, I think, is one of my favorite parts of this season so far. They showed the stat earlier because Soroka pitched yesterday, Friday, against the Blue Jays. It was the most strikeouts through the first 4 games for Dbacks pitchers, and I think Soroka has 24 strikeouts. And then there's another guy, Hudson. I forget the first name. Whatever. He had 28. And then it showed Randy Johnson. He had 44 strikeouts through his first 4 games.
Yep.
Which is insane.
Different era.
It is. It really is. It really is.
Yep.
Also just a different beast, too, as well. But that shows you right there. 3rd most strikeouts through his first 4 games as a D-backs pitcher. And he's really showing it. So I've been surprised, guys. I've been really surprised by this baseball team because we're beating good baseball teams with serious star power, and it's no names that are winning those games for us. It really is. It's no names. It's Jose Fernandez. It's Ildemardo Vargas. It's Adrian Del Castillo. I mean, it's that dude. He is.
Yeah. Wow.
He's really come in. I mean, it's dudes like that where that you wouldn't. I wouldn't have paid $1 million like to say, oh yeah, this is gonna happen. Like no, it was never gonna happen.
Yeah, that's a great point because like we already talked about Gabby Moreno being unavailable and unreliable from an availability perspective, and we saw that early where now he's already out, and we are having to see ADC get into the mix. I think James McCann is still getting some reps as well. But Mike, I mean, Tallman laid a lot of it out there. It's really come down to the pitching and the surprise from these younger guys stepping up. But I mentioned the concerns there as well. With Gurriel back now, do you think they should look at Alek Thomas a little closer? He does still have a minor league option. We talked about that with Fott. They moved him to the bullpen. With Alek Thomas hitting so poorly, what do you do?
You got to see if this kid can get out of it. He had a nice rip down the line here, RBI single. We love to see those type of things. But with Jordan Lawler also being out for a number of weeks, 4 to 6 as well?
Yeah, I think we're a couple weeks into that.
You guys already said he is the chosen one, so he needs to get out of this slump the same way that the other guys who I think have a little bit more pedigree. You talk about Jerry, obviously Cattell, guys who struggled to start the year are starting to turn the tides. You're going to have to continue to give that to Alek Thomas. I don't know what other options there truly are. But at the same time, the beautiful thing is that you're having those other contributors like the Ildemaro Vargases, who I think hitting 380 in 13 games.
Crazy, yeah.
He's killing it.
Fernandez is over 300 as well. Corbin Carroll, even though he has 20 strikeouts, guys, like far and above the most on the team.
Corbin?
He's still at time of recording hitting 308, leads the team in RBIs, leads the team in runs. So you can kind of give up those negatives if you're getting positives outside of the other aspects. So for Alek right now, he's not hitting, but if he's going to continue to be a solid asset in the outfield, especially playing in center field, being that rangy defender that we've known, and he had a crazy diving catch the other night too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
But either way, I mean, you're going to get those. So I'm not saying that can blanket all of the problems from the plate, but as Tallman would say, it's way too early in the season. There's too much baseball to be played. What's our number? 60 games? If he's still hitting 130 through 60 games, then we start having those conversations. But until then, the train is rolling. Man, you know how I talked about what my expectations were, and we went through what we thought win-loss record, which is always kind of a shot in the dark. But my thought process was to hopefully getting over 500 is this team would have to continue to tread water. And they're on a raft rowing themselves right now, which is a beautiful thing to see.
They are.
And like Tallman touched out, we have reinforcements coming as well. So if you continue to win the series that you need to, or that you should, and then you scratch out some surprising ones like we talked about in the Mets series, hopefully with this Toronto Blue Jays team as well, you're sitting pretty. A big one that's coming up is that 2-game set in Mexico City against the Padres, because we have the White Sox coming up. Yep,
next weekend. Yeah.
Oh no.
So we have the White Sox to start the week, and then we have a couple of days off, and then we're heading to Mexico City, and then right after that is the Brewers. So it doesn't get any easier. But this team, if they continue to be putting together the pieces, and this is the last thing I'll say about this too. I've been very impressed about how this is a no-nonsense team right now. If you aren't performing, you are gone. Joe Ross, bye-bye.
See ya.
Taylor Rashi, back to the minors.
Good.
The next morning,
Hell
he was
yeah.
gone.
Come on, guys. How many times have we talked about it? So this kind of circles back to your question, Chris, about Alek's not performing from the plate. But what other options do we have right now? And I think he's earned the goodwill to get through this slump. Those other guys had no will to stand on. So if you don't perform, we're going to find somebody else who will.
And that's a great point about Alek. I'll let you go, Tom. But with Alek, he what he lacks in offense, he can still make up for a little bit on the defensive side. Being quick, being able to track those balls, chase them down, and snag them.
Yeah, he's an incredible defender. I mean, the other option would be, do you give Barossa a shot? Dude, he's been good, Chris. He has.
I know.
Look at his stats.
But as the everyday, though?
Look at his stats.
I know.
The guy is quicker than shit. Incredible defender as well.
My shit is pretty quick.
just like Thomas. And they always put him in the 9 hole. And the dude's like, every time I'm watching him bat, it's like he's hitting a double. I mean, he's facing up the ball. He really is. So I don't know. I mean, that's the great thing about Gurriel coming back is you have the depth. I mean, they're rolling out Tawa out there too. I mean, you got guys that can play.
That's the thing, though.
Positions.
That's what I've heard people say is if you give up on Thomas, you're basically giving Tawa the keys.
I think it's Barossa, dude. I think it's Barossa. He's been one of those young guys that have been a surprise. So I don't know. I think that the Thomas thing is interesting because I'm totally with you on if you're not doing it, get the hell out of here. Like, I don't care. Like we've talked about this for the last 2 years, and that's been some of our criticism to Torrey is like get these guys out. Like if you're not producing, you need to go. Stop. Like the whole thing with Erod a long time ago, we were really mad at him. We were like, kick him the fuck out, put Ryan Nelson in the rotation.
Yeah.
Obviously, Erod's had an incredible start to his 2026 campaign, but I don't know. It's like, how long do you trot Thomas out there when you've had not a I'm going to call it a surprise start where this team's moving. The chemistry is a lot stronger than I think anybody expected. And so that being said, how long do you trot Thomas out there to go 0 for 4 every day, batting in the 9th spot it's like, I don't know. When does it become a disservice to the team?
60 games.
60 games.
Yep. Well, we'll definitely be keeping tapped in on that. We'll be continuing to monitor the situation, but I like what I've seen from the Diamondbacks so far, and I am really excited. And we're less than a month away from the VSP annual 999 challenge. It's going to be happening early May. We're going to live stream that once again. We're going to invite some friends down to join us for that. We'll get the whole roster and be on the lookout. But that'll be a rare Saturday stream for the VSP crew, and I think we were looking at a game. Do you remember who the opponent is? It's like a 4:30 first pitch.
Is it the Indians? Why do I want to say Indians?
The Indians don't even exist anymore. The
team,
Guardians.
They're always going to be the Indians.
I wanted to say Mets, but I feel like it's too soon for us to play the
9th?
Mets again. Yeah, May 9th.
Let's see. It is the Mets.
It is the Mets.
Was it the Mets? You sure?
The Mets.
Yep, because we're at home, I believe. Yep, Mets at home. So
Yeah.
that'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to complete the challenge this year. I was just short. Mike is trying to go, I think, 12 for 12 this year, 11 of 11.
No.
Or 11 and 9. It would be 11, 11, 9.
11, 9.
And then we'll have to figure out if there's extra innings, what that looks like. But that's neither here nor there. But guys, this is always fun to get together, do our in-person podcast recording. Obviously, as always, want to give you each the floor one last time to share any final thoughts you have on the state of the Valley. So, Tallman, we'll start with you.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to get you a new mic stand. If you guys want
a new nightstand.
a new nightstand.
I need a new nightstand.
That is a night.
This is kind of
a pretty old nightstand.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's drooping on me. I feel like I'm like the hunchback.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
See,
Yeah.
it's not me, Michael.
It can't be good for your posture. Yeah,
I'm like,
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
please.
Make sure you like and subscribe so we can maybe one day
Yes,
get monetized
please.
and then use that money to get Tallman
Get me a
better
mic stand, please. Yeah. You said that's for last thoughts.
Yeah, last
whatever.
thoughts. Yeah. Feelings.
I don't know. I'm going to the Dbacks game tomorrow.
Ooh.
First one of the season.
Day game.
What? Yeah, day game. And I'm confused because my phone says it's 1:10, and they showed a graphic earlier where it says it was at 12:30.
I think it's 12:30.
Is that like their broadcast
Pacific?
start?
I have no idea.
But that doesn't even add up. There'd be 40-minute difference.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, dude.
Okay.
Check your tickets.
All right. Check your tickets. Anyway, yeah, so I'm excited to go out there.
First game of the season?
First game of the season.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome, man. I hope
That's
you have
all I
fun. Get some pictures, make some content. Michael Benjamin, what you got, brother? What you got, boss?
Yeah, send them my way.
That's funny.
Yeah, I can't wait to make it out to my first Diamondbacks game. I went to the last faux spring training game.
Yeah.
Against the Cleveland Guardians. There you go, Chris.
Indians.
The Cleveland Guardians.
But I can't wait because then I'll be able to bust out those Deshowns, baby.
Sheesh.
Shout out to Amari Stoudemire as well. I know we talked about him in another stream, but the new Hall of Famer, cemented. Man, it's going to be fun. I was already actually talking to my dad about maybe going to Springfield, so we'll see.
Ooh.
And I will be making content if I show up there.
There you go.
He's going
There
to
you
be
go.
making content.
That's
folks.
content.
But either way, I am
Content creator.
I am contemplating buying a Green Goblin mask so you guys can call me the Glizzy Goblin on the Saturday.
Why would you tell us that? You should have just showed up with that. That would have been incredible.
No, I love it because now he has to do it. Because
Yeah,
now
I
they
might
put
have-
it out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now I
no,
might
you-
have to do it.
Glizzy. I'm just gonna give up on the mic stand, Chris.
That's okay. That's okay. We're out of here. We don't need you to speak into it anymore.
Good.
But appreciate you guys. I don't always usually share a lot of my last thoughts, but I did want to give one last shout out on my way out the door. Our a friend of the show, Valley Sports Plug contributor Ben Miller, had the birth of his second child this past couple days, and the birth of his son. So that's his second child. So congrats to Ben.
Congrats, Ben.
And congrats
Benny
to you and your
boy.
family. I'm glad everyone's happy and healthy, and look forward to meeting the little guy and maybe a future Valley Sports Plug contributor.
Ben is now officially and can only be called Big Daddy.
Big Daddy Ben. BDB.
Congrats, Ben. Congrats, Sir Kate.
Congrats, man. But yeah, Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. If you've made it to this part of the video or the audio, we appreciate you. We know you're a real one. If you've made it this far, we know you're probably liked and subscribed, but double check. If you're not, make sure you hit that subscribe bell. Hit the notification bell on YouTube so you can get all of the updates when we're going live and when we post new videos. And that's every Tuesday around 7 to 7:30 is when we're going live for our live streams. This last Tuesday, we just did our NFL draft preview stream, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So follow us at AZ_VSP on Instagram, TikTok, X, and so much more. Lastly, all those links will be down in the description. But thank you guys so much. For Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman, I'm Chris Patrick. We'll see you next time. Peace.